If the reports are true, and I have no reason to think they're not, Chauncey Gardner-Johnson is staying in Philly a very, very long time. Dallas still stinks. Yo, by the way, King Dingbat here, and hope everybody's having a great day. Hope you guys are doing well. Hope you're hanging in there. You know, when the Eagles traded for CJ Gardner-Johnson, two things became very apparent right away. The first thing was the Eagles robbed the New Orleans Saints of CJ Gardner-Johnson. Even Sean Payton said he couldn't believe the Eagles got that deal. The other thing, CJ Gardner-Johnson was built for Philly. He belongs in Philly. He's the perfect fit, and that's why he isn't going anywhere. Now, before we get into it, if you're new to the channel and you like the content, make sure you hit that like button. More importantly, make sure you subscribe to the most censored, most throttled, Eagles content creator in all of the internet. We will be going hardcore pause again in the off season. It won't stop. Multiple videos. It is going to be almost every single day. So if you like football talk, you like the draft, you like all that coverage, definitely subscribe. And if you've been subscribed for a while, I just want to thank you guys from the bottom of my heart, really. It was an amazing season. You guys make it great. The off seasons, they're great as well. And I just can't wait to go through this off season and get back to the Super Bowl, because I believe the Eagles are perfectly set up to get back to the Super Bowl. So thank you guys for all your support. Just do me one thing. Just double check. Double moonwalk check. Make sure you're still subscribed and everything's still good, because YouTube's been having some issues with that. Now, I want to jump right into this Eagle stuff that's going on, because I got to tell you, I'm kind of getting over the whole Super Bowl now. You know, to the best that anybody can get over a loss like that. But I've kind of started looking forward, and I'm looking at this all season, and I'm telling you what. I'm excited about this team. I'm excited about this all season. I think everything is set up for the Eagles, that if they go out and have a good draft, a good off season, they're going right back to the Super Bowl. I think in the NFC, if you look at with Aaron Rodgers possibly leaving the conference, Tom Brady retiring, if you look at the teams in the NFC, who's the Eagles' biggest threat? The 49ers? We don't even know if they have a quarterback yet, okay? The Minnesota Vikings? I think not. Not with that choke artist, Kirk Cousins. They're always going to come up small in the big games. The Dallas Cowboys? I mean, they've been choking for the last 30 years. They may be one of the toughest teams too, because at least they have a quarterback, even though a lot of the Cowboy fans want to get rid of Dak Prescott now. I don't know what the Cowboys are going to do. They've got to be aggressive this offseason. If the Cowboys go into the offseason like they did last year and are not as aggressive as the Eagles, they got to keep up with the Eagles in being an aggressive team this offseason and doing things, because they're missing some pieces. When they lost Amari Cooper, they weren't the same. And I don't know what trajectory the Cowboys are going to be going in until we see what this offseason is. But for the Eagles are set up perfectly. I mean, we have a great nucleus of young players on this team. We got a great, remarkable young quarterback who I believe is going to play in a lot of big games, a lot of Super Bowls, things like that. So the Eagles are set up perfectly, especially with a weakened conference, okay? But the decisions and the things that we do this whole season are going to go a long way, because let's face it, there are guys that aren't going to come back. We're going to have to make some moves. And depending upon what they do, it's going to determine a lot of things. And I've said this from the get-go. The number one priority, in my opinion, when it comes to players that you keep is CJ Gardner-Johnson. You can't let him go because of his age, because of the position he plays. I mean, this is a guy that played safety for the first time last year, and he was perhaps one of the best safeties in the league. He's also a guy that could play nickel corner if you need him. He's very versatile, he's very good, and he's young. You have to keep him. And Howie Roseman and the Eagles are thinking exactly the same way, because we're getting reports today, okay? We're getting reports that the Eagles are going to franchise tag him if they can't get a contract done with him, and I totally agree with this. Eagles rumor, CJ Gardner-Johnson to get franchise tagged if no contract. If they don't get a contract, right? For those that don't know, today is the window. Today the window opens to franchise tag players. So I think it's from now. Oh God, I forget what the exact date is. I'm sorry, I forgot it. But it's early March, right before free agency starts. You have about a month of an open window to franchise tag players. So the Eagles, if they can't get a long-term contract, are going to have to franchise tag them. And I'm totally for it, okay? Here's what Adam Kaplan said on his podcast, Inside the Birds, which is a great podcast. Shout out to him. I love that show. But here's what he said. NFL pundit Adam Kaplan said on his Inside the Birds podcast that, quote, Gardner-Johnson is not going anywhere. They'll tag him if they don't think they can get a deal done. He gets the sense they love Reed Blankenship at the third safety role spot starter if you need him. I don't know if they see him as a full-time starter. I kind of am similar. I think Reed Blankenship has a lot of upside. I think he's maybe he could develop into a starter at some point. But, I don't know that he's a guy that's going to solve all your problems. You can't let CJ Gardner-Johnson out the door because you think Reed Blankenship can step up and be a safety. I would like to see those guys play together. So CJ Gardner-Johnson is going to get franchise tagged. He is not going anywhere. And this is the number one move and indicator, as far as I'm concerned, that the Eagles are thinking right. Okay? Their ESPN did a list of the top 50 free agents, available free agents that are going to be in the NFL. The Eagles, I believe, had 7 on the list. Check these guys out, okay? So CJ Gardner-Johnson, we just talked about, he's number 14 on that list. I thought he would actually be higher, but he's ranked 14 on ESPN's list. Javon Hargrave, he's ranked number 3. He's also another guy I think you have to bring back. You have to sign him because you're going to let Fletcher Cox off, probably go off in free agency unless he wants to take a lesser deal. And then you're going to have Jordan Davis, and I think Javon Hargrave would be a perfect combination, perfect fit. So he's ranked number 3 on the list. James Bradbury, he's 13. That surprises me. Maybe there's a chance that James Bradbury gets overlooked and people don't see him quite the way the Eagle fans see him, and maybe we get him a little cheaper. Maybe there's an option or a chance to get him a little cheaper. Maybe Bradbury will go into free agency, not get the contract that he wants, and then he wants to come out and show one more year that he can play. I would just love to keep James Bradbury. I don't know how possible it is, but I would love to. But he's ranked 13 on the list. Then you have Isaac Seumalo. He's at number 35. TJ Edwards at number 37. Then you have Brandon Graham, 39, and Miles Sanders at 43. So Gardner-Johnson, Javon Hargrave, Bradbury, Seumalo, Edwards, Brandon Graham, and Miles Sanders, all on the top 50 list of ESPN's free agents. The way I see it, I think Miles Sanders is gone. I don't think that Super Bowl helped him at all. I think Seumalo is going to go too. I would not be surprised if they put Juergens at right guard for a year. If they think he can play it, why not? I mean, because I think Kelsey's staying. I definitely think Kelsey's staying. I definitely think Kelsey stays this year. I don't think he retires. So would they move Cam Juergens to right guard for a year? I don't know, but I love our line. But so you got Seumalo, I think he's gone. TJ Edwards, I think it's 50-50 that he stays. I think Kaiser White will be gone. And then Brandon Graham is interesting. I've said this before. I think Brandon Graham offers so much, not just on the field, but off the field, what he means to the locker room. And I've heard some mixed things. I've heard people say Brandon Graham wants to go out and get his one last pay, and he's going to go where the money is. And I've heard other people say that it's been said that Brandon Graham is willing to take a hometown discount to stay with the Eagles, and he doesn't want to go anywhere. I hope that that's the case. I really, really do. So I think Brandon Graham's 50-50. I think Edwards 50-50. I think James Bradbury, although I would love to have him, I don't see it happening. I just think he's gonna want too much money. But he would be my top 3 guys to bring back and keep. So Bradbury, I think he's gone. But I think Chauncey Gardner-Johnson and Hargrave will be back. I expect them to. And I think everything's set up, like I said, perfectly for the Eagles. I think the NFC Conference is actually going to be weaker than it was this year, and it's wide open. If Howie goes out, has a good draft, does the right things with the players you bring back, this team will compete again, and I think has a good chance to get the job done. Just based on what I saw, who their opponents are and where they're playing, I think right now they're a 13-win team, and that's just right now. Imagine when they start adding pieces. So it's going to be very, very interesting. I'm very excited about this offseason. I really am. I've kind of turned the page on the Super Bowl. Of course, we got to get an offensive and defensive coordinator. That will happen, and that will fall into place. Also, I want to mention this because I think it's kind of interesting. A.J. Brown, I guess he was on a podcast, and they were talking to him about all sorts of different things. He said 2 things stuck out to me that I thought was interesting. One, he said the Jets and the Chiefs tried to trade for him before the Eagles did. I bet he's glad he didn't go to the Jets. And the Chiefs, well, I mean, I'm sure he would have been happy to go to the Chiefs, but the Titans didn't want to do it. Of course, I mean, they don't want to trade him in conference. I get it. So thank God he went to the Eagles because he made a huge difference for us. The other thing AJ said, he said the Eagles pay Hurts ASAP, which you've got to. Hurts has got to get a deal done. We got to get a deal done with him. And like I said, I know Howie. Man, this chair's squeaking on me today. My ass torn the hell out of another chair. My ass tears up chairs, man. But anyways, he said, you got to pay Jalen Hurts ASAP, okay? I agree. Got to get it done. You can't allow it to linger on. Howie Roseman, I know he's going to do. I know he's got his pocket pencil protector, his big thick glasses, his Napoleon hat. He's going to calculate the calculations of the cornbread, and I know he's going to get it done. And the way he's going to get it done is he's going to structure it in a way in which the Eagles won't have to pay Jalen Hurts against the cap this year. They'll probably get this whole year. The extension will then kick in. And he's going to make it in a way that'll work for the Eagles. So I trust Howie with signing Hurts. Hurts isn't going anywhere either. And I like the fact that A.J. Brown is speaking up, pay the man. Why do I say that? I think back to 2004. Remember in 2004 when the Eagles lose the Super Bowl to the Patriots and Terrell Owens, for all intents and purposes, should have won MVP even in a loss? Well, what happened? He wanted a contract, right? He wanted to redo his contract. And Donovan McNabb never spoke up. He never spoke up and kind of said, yeah, I think the Eagles should go ahead and sign Terrell Owens. But he did say it about Brian Westbrook. And Terrell Owens took it as a slight. It eventually caused friction in the locker room, problems in the locker room, and they never really recovered from that. I like the fact that A.J. Brown, I know he's friends with Jalen Hurts. I know. But it's good to see the unity and that he's got his back, and that's the way it's got to be. Got to pay Jalen Hurts. You've got to get it done. No doubt about it. Now, a quick reminder before we get out of here. This probably is going to be my only video today. I'm basically just taking care of some business after I got home from Florida. I still have my parents here. They were babysitting my kids the week we were gone. So I think they're leaving tonight. So we're going to spend some time with them and all those kind of things. And yeah, I'm just going to kind of take it easy, rest up, and then get ready for tomorrow. Because tomorrow we're going to start dropping multiple videos. Philly Shakedown Podcast will be tomorrow night, so look for that. I couldn't do it tonight. Like I said, I'm just kind of resting and chilling and kind of just getting over all the travel, washing clothes, doing all those kind of things, spending time with family. But look for Philly Shakedown Podcast tomorrow. And then, of course, we're going to hit the ground running this all season. We got a lot of work to do. It's going to be busy. I'm going to be Mark Holmes and yes, all season. We ain't stopping. We're just getting started. With that said, take care. Talk to you later. Of course, don't be a dingbat. Remember, it's Howie Vision. We're all just living in it. Oh, yeah, and the Cowboys, they still stink. today I'd like you guys to meet the person or the kitty that we call Hollywood. This is Hollywood. Now, Hollywood is a performer. If there was one cat that could be on camera, be in a film, it's this cat. This is Hollywood. I never saw a cat wrestle and play with the other cats, and then when they got close, it would literally play dead. It would get up like this and stiffen up in its hind legs and just fall backwards and lay there and literally pretend it was dead until they left, and they would jump up and jump on them. So this cat is a complete actor, complete ham, and we call it Hollywood. I'm going to be very attached to Hollywood. Hollywood turned 6 weeks old Sunday, and I wanted you guys to meet Hollywood. Say hi, Hollywood. Hey, say hi. Say hi. Hey, hey, hey. Say hi. Yeah. Hollywood loves when you hold him, and he just sit there all day. He's very, very chill, very cool, right? Right, Hollywood? Yeah, it's nap time. Denzel Washington and Hollywood, out.